Good morning, everybody. On behalf of my colleagues in the Masters in Urban Planning and Policy and Masters in Urban Design, and my colleague and conference co-organizer, Nada Mumtaz, welcome to City Debates 2014. I look forward to witnessing and participating in what promises to be another stimulating round of multidisciplinary discussions, this time tackling the intersection of property and planning. To people in the MUPP, MUD program, as we call it, City Debates is not only the well-anticipated conference that we organize yearly, it's also a moment of celebration, where we get to interact with some of the people whose texts have most influenced our thinking in recent years. We think of this event as a moment to engage with our students, with scholars from near and far, and with practitioners to reflect on theoretical and practical questions that arise in the study of the city. But City Debates is also a precious moment to contribute to our regional context, to engage the practice of urban planning and design, and to generate a conversation about issues and questions that we feel are not sufficiently vetted, questioned, thought of, or analyzed. The title of this year's City Debate of Property and Planning refers to Locke's widely influential treatise of the title of Property. In recent years, this text has come under the severe criticism of progressive geographers who decried the way in which it naturalizes the private possession of land and ushers a strictly individual, property-rooted understanding of the natural and built environments. And yet, Locke posited that a person has the right to appropriate things by virtue of the labor she or he invests in them, but to a limit, and what that person can reasonably use without waste. 3 centuries later, one can only wonder how, amidst a global financial crisis stemming from the domination of the exchange value of land and housing stock over their use value as shelters, one can activate Locke's principles of appropriation by labor to challenge the devastating powers of real estate markets over urban landscapes, their ability to trump all other processes of spatial transformation, and to mask the social functions of land. Nowhere is this more felt than in today's Lebanon, where a recent study showed that the median price of an apartment in our capital city, Beirut, has risen to over $1 million in a context where the minimum wage is $350. The average sale prices of residential property in Beirut is estimated at 3,800 to 4,500 square meter, again, way out of reach of the majorities. Needless to say, there are very few market regulations, property taxes are low, and real estate speculation rampant and untaxed. To the contrary, real estate is typically protected and described as the successful sector of our national economy. But it is not just high-end housing markets that we are concerned with here. Even access to housing in informal settlements, squatter areas, and refugee camps has come to follow the same logic of capital accumulation. In addition to the 70% of the Lebanese population that struggles to secure housing in ever more unaffordable cities, Lebanon, a country of 4 million, hosts today, by the very conservative estimates of UNHCR, 1 million Syrian refugees. Unlike other contexts where refugees are sheltered in camps or other temporary pre-organized facilities, the 1 million Syrian refugees are vetting for themselves within the channels of an unaffordable housing market and finding shelter in its interstices in the re-subdivided apartments of the city's informal settlements, on rooftops, makeshift added rooms, and in tents that they have set up on properties that they directly rent from property owners, all in terrible living conditions. Such realities have driven many to think both of different models of property and of tax policies in order to restrict speculation, provide shelter, and empower non-propertied claims over the city. This conference, and this is very much the conception that we've drawn with Nada together as we were thinking, is an attempt to put such proposals and concerns in conversation with recent debates on property in anthropology, geography, history, law, and planning. The critical literature on property has questioned the concept of property and highlighted the assumptions of the private property model, probing what gets to be labeled as property, how one distinguishes and constructs the people and things in property relations, and the political usage of the concept. In addition, and crucially for proposals aiming at changing the way we do property, recent interventions in the literature have emphasized the performativity of models of property, the fact that they create the word in their image rather than just representing it, their success depending on how they enmesh with other things, ideas, and people, rather than on their truth value. We have, in fact, learned a lot of these things by thinking through and with the work of many of this conference speakers, and we are delighted to be thinking about these issues with them for 2 days. 3 main entry points animate our analysis. One that looks at contemporary debates on the conception of property in relation to space and planning. Another that builds on historical investigation of the transformations of property in the Middle East. And sadly, I should say that neither Dr. Islamoglu nor Dr. Kaya will be able to join us, although Dr. Kaya's paper will be read by my conference co-organizer, Nada Mumtaz. And the third introduces pragmatic conversation of local and regional models of property taxation and property forms, and ways in which these models could be introduced to strengthen public, communal, shared values of the natural landscape over current real estate speculations. So we've organized this conference, though not within this axis, 3 axes, but rather trying to bring and enmesh history with the contemporary moment, and also combining cases from the region, from Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, or Bahrain, with cases from Brazil, Chile, Mexico, India, Turkey, and other places.